Since the beginning of time, crisis and challenging circumstances have been a staple in the human experience. They're not going anywhere. In fact, in today's world, they're only going to expedite in terms of them knocking at your door. But here's the good thing: when chaos or stress or any other circumstances that are less than desirable is knocking at your door, a few simple tweaks can make all the world of difference to help you get back momentum and keep the path going forward. And I'm going to share those four with you. Welcome to Executive Health. I am Julian Hayes, founder and CEO of Executive Health. This is the place where we help entrepreneurs, executives, and investors stay, look, and feel at the top of their game, no matter their age. And we do that through providing concierge executive care. If this is your first time here, go ahead and like and subscribe so you never miss a future video that's on the way. Now let's dive right into this. 4 practical things that you can do when nothing is going your way. And this is something that everyone is going to encounter at some point. At some point, you're going to feel stuck. At some point, you're going to feel that nothing is going as it should be. And in that time, you can kind of feel lost for that. I know during the pandemic, during that whole time, I kind of felt that way. It was dealing with losing loved ones, dealing with a lot of changes in business. And then it comes along. And during that time, I implemented 4 things, and that's what I'm getting ready to share with you. These 4 things are very practical, very simple. And the reason why I like to focus on things that are practical when there's seemingly chaos around, or there's times that we just don't feel like we're doing anything with our life, with our health, with our business. I like to focus on things that I have full control over, because a lot of times when you don't feel like nothing is going your way, part of it is because you don't really have this feeling of control as well. So with that said, let's lead into the very first thing. And the very first thing is to give and find gratitude. And I know this sounds very basic. Oh, gratitude, blah, 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 write in my gratitude journal. And that's what I thought as well. But, I talked to numerous people light years ahead of me. I remember when my father was around, I took him to different clinics, and I talked to different veterans who came back from the wars and lost limbs, or individuals who were sick. And you wonder why they had a great attitude, despite on the surface these dire circumstances that they were under. And it's because they worked on their attitude. In particular, they found gratitude within the situation that they're in. And when you think about gratitude, and this is kind of how I think about it, it's basically giving me armor to help me withstand the daily rigors of life. Because as an entrepreneur, as you're building your business, as an exec, if you're running teams, every day you're pretty much going to have something that goes unexpected. You're going to have something every day that you're essentially putting out a fire. And what this gratitude does is it gives you armor, protection to withstand these things, these inconveniences of life. And this is a big thing with our health. So maybe you're not where you want to be with your health right now. Maybe your performance is not where you want to be, but during that time, what can you find that is still going well for you? And the reason why is because where your attention goes, your energy is going to go. And one of the key longevity markers, one of the key things, if you look at the blue zones in other areas of the longest living populations, it's mindset. It starts with attitude and our mindset. In particular, it starts with our perception. And so instead of writing just 3 things that you're grateful for, because you can kind of check the box on that, what I challenge you to do instead is to reach out to 1 to 3 people a day and just call it like an appreciation text. Just say, hey, I'm checking on you. It's a way to connect in with your network. It's a way to just to get out of your own mind and to pour into somebody else. And the second thing is to find and focus on one meaningful project. And when in doubt, when in doubt, it's typically better to subtract than it is to add, especially in the world now, because most of us are pretty overstimulated. And when we have too many focuses on different projects and different ventures, but nothing's going our way, it's hard to actually give ample attention and focus to any of these projects because we're so diluted. It's essentially like someone that's investing in 20 companies at the very beginning of their investing process, and they don't even have enough capital really to do those 20 companies. So they're really not going to make any significant progress on those 20 on their investment because they're so diluted. But that's just a side thing about investing. That's not financial advice also. So as I talk about finding and focusing hard on this one meaningful project, look at this as what's one thing that I could focus on right now that will give me the biggest ROI when it comes to my life, when it comes to helping me get back momentum. So just think about that. And the third one here is to get off the island. Entrepreneurs, when you essentially embark and decide to start your own venture, start your own business, and even if you decide to really challenge yourself to rise up to the ranks of the C-suite, or if you're already there, what you're noticing at times, and there's research behind this, is that we are sounding like almost like a covert contract where there's potential depression involved. There's potential loneliness involved. There's burnout involved. There's unintentional alienation of your most important relationships. Because let's be honest, the people are not going to necessarily truly understand what you're doing. You're probably going to be like an oddball. And as I talk about a lot of times as well, especially with the clients, is that there are some dark sides to success, and that might sound counterintuitive, but the more successful you get, the more responsibilities that you have, the greater expectations, and the thing that is typically left in the back burner, relegated at the end of the bench, is your self-care. And if you're anything like me, when you're on the island, and what I talk about the island is, this is like a place where you isolate yourself. When things get tough, when nothing's going your way, when it's a really troubling time, you're in wartime mode, as I call it sometimes, you tend to contract. Instead of expand, you're contracting. And what I mean by contracting is you're closing off yourself to the world and hunkering down in your own problems, hunkering down and trying to focus. And that's the opposite thing that we must do, because that only magnifies the issues down the road. And this is what leads to so many entrepreneurs and executives having a decreased quality in mental health. I think just this year alone, I've known, not too well, but just through different people, I've known 2 entrepreneurs who have unfortunately taken their life because of this. I think this thing on an island, and entrepreneurs are already, I wrote about this a long time in Entrepreneur, that entrepreneurs are, and execs are significantly more susceptible to things such as depression, bipolarness, and a host of other mental illnesses. So this is very important here that you get off the island. And to help yourself get off the island, work to establish a council. It doesn't have to be family. Family is probably the last thing it needs to be, quite honestly. It needs to be what I like to do is I like to have a bunch of different categories. I like to have peers who are around the same age as me, who are around the same area of development as me. In terms of what that means is we're kind of around the same area in our career trajectory, in our business venture. We're kind of in the same time frame. Then I like to have the mentor, the person who is significantly ahead of you. I like to have that person there. You can say that's the Yoda. Then I like to have people that are younger than me. Actually, one, it keeps me thinking young, as I say, even though I'm still super young. But B, it also helps with you being able to be a teacher. It's good to be a student and it's good to be a teacher because those people that are behind you, you have something valuable to teach them. And so think about that as you're building out this little network here. And last but not least, when it comes to nothing going your way, double down on your fitness. Double down on your fitness. And when we typically talk about fitness, we talk about, aerobic training, anaerobic training. We talk about sprinting, and we talk about training benefiting, helping through insulin sensitivity, training helping with endorphins, excuse me, training helping with heart health and brain health and body composition and all of those health benefits. But at this stage, when you're looking for momentum and you're looking to just try to get something positive going in your life, I cannot think of too many prescriptions that are better than fitness. And the reason why is exercise and fitness, it's pretty much it's pretty much exfoliating a lot of the frustrations that you have on a day-to-day basis right now. It's serving as this outlet to get all your frustrations out the way, to get all this pent up resentment, energy that's typically negative. We're getting this all out of the way. I think about this. Running is enjoyable for me, but running is also a way for me to clear my head and to get and to just process a lot of things, a lot of junk that's in my head. And I think about lifting weights. That's a way for me to get a lot of the aggression that I have out. Same with boxing. And then sauna is just to sit there and just essentially relax and try to decompress. So you have all these different prescriptions. But you add those things up. What all those things that I just described and why I think it's so beneficial to double down on your fitness when nothing is going your way. It's control. No matter what's going on in the world, no matter what's going on in politics, no matter what's going on in the stock market, no matter what's going on with the company or anything right now, you have 100% control over your fitness. You have 100% control over if you're going to decide to move your body today, if you're going to decide to go work out, if you're going to decide to go for a run or go box or go cycle. You have 100% control over that. And when times of uncertainty, times of difficulty, having something that you can hold on, something that you can cling on to as an anchor so you don't lose yourself, so you don't succumb to other vices. It's a powerful thing. And that's what helped me during the time of when my father passed and why I didn't just completely succumb to vices and just lose myself. That's where I discovered running. I started running then. And so to recap here, these 4 things when nothing's going your way. Number 1 is to give and find gratitude. And you can simply do this by reaching out to 1 to 3 people a day to check on them and to just see if you can be of service, of value to them. Because a lot of people suffer in silence. A lot of people are going through stuff right now. And you could be that person. Number two is to find and focus 100% on one meaningful project. When in doubt, I want you to subtract. So just one project right now. Number three is to get off the island. Avoid the island at all costs. Isolation does not need to be your thing as an entrepreneur and as a high performer. Seek, inform your counsel. And last but not least, number four is to double down on your fitness. There's a lot of things that we cannot control in life, but we can control how we move our body. So those four things would help to start giving you momentum. And so any questions, reach out through social or reach out through an email if you want. And so until next time, stay awesome, be limitless, and go be the CEO of your health and your life. Peace.